You're watching the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Shout out to Aura for sponsoring today's show, an all-in-one digital safety tool that's going to keep you safe online. 14-day free trial. Right now, in the comments, this link is aura.com/chatsports. We'll tell you a little bit more about the benefits of Aura later on in the show. Speaking of the show, before we get into the latest Lakers news and rumors, like this video if you bleed purple and gold. The offseason's heating up, and hey, it's exciting times. A new coach, Darvin Ham. We're going to see what type of fingerprints he puts on this new look basketball team. Hopefully, we'll see with the staff how that comes together. We'll of course have it all covered. But like this video, if you love the Lakers, if you're excited about the future, just hit that thumbs up icon. All right, could Anthony Davis not be a part of the future? We'll see. Bleacher Report put out an article of, every team's dream trade target, if you will, and Anthony Davis was one that popped up for the Dallas Mavericks. So could AD be on the move to Dallas as they're searching for a big? You think about some of the assets the Mavericks have, some decent ones. They don't have a ton of draft assets, but I don't think the Lakers would be looking for draft picks as much as, depth type of pieces. Tim Hardaway, Spencer Dinwiddie, a couple of quality guards that can come off the bench or start. Jalen Brunson could be a sign-and-trade chip in a trade for Anthony Davis. Maxi Kleber, Davis Bertans, Josh Green, those are certainly lesser type of assets than future first-round picks. You could also get the 2022 first-round pick from Dallas, but it would have to be a draft night trade since they couldn't trade 21 or 23 because they already traded those for Kristaps Porzingis. Darvin Ham had this to say recently about Anthony Davis after he had his introductory presser. He said, quote, "I think he's the key. We've all seen what can happen when he's healthy, when he's playing at a high level, when he's in good rhythm. We saw it in the bubble, his skill set, his size, versatility, defensive acumen, his relentlessness, his ability to give multiple efforts defensively is key." Ham continued by saying, "It's going to be the foundation of the type of standard we set with a Darvin Ham era. It's going to be built on that defense, and he's going to be the main piece, the centerpiece of it." And for Anthony Davis and the Lakers, there's no doubt if he can get back to that 2020 level, which is what Ham's talking about, the year they won the championship, that's a game changer. You're talking about a guy in AD who is one of the best two-way bigs when fully engaged. Really good scorer, good rim protector, rebounder, overall defender. Remember, there was a real conversation at the end of that season after they won the championship. This is AD's team now. LeBron's still a dog. He's still a superstar, but Anthony Davis, it's his team moving forward. That hasn't been the case for a couple of reasons. One, LeBron is still incredible. This is, a part that is part of the equation. But more importantly, AD's level of play has dipped just a little bit, but most importantly out of all of it, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Missed 36 games 2 seasons ago. Missed 42 games this year. He's got to be available to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. And Kendrick Perkins, he's high on the idea of AD still being a major contributor. He tweeted this out. "The combination of Darvin Ham and Rasheed Wallace, rumors of Sheed being an assistant coach, equals Anthony Davis being a top 5 player next season. Those two are going to bring that dog out of AD. Carry the hell on," as Perk likes to say. I wouldn't go as far as top 5, even though 2 years ago he ended as a top 5 player. But can he get back to that top 10, top 15 status? I think so. He's got to be healthy, and he's got to be engaged. Should the Lakers trade Anthony Davis? Type T for trade, type K for keep. The reality is you're not going to replace his production with a trade, even though he hasn't been that available. I think with LeBron having one more year on his deal, it doesn't make sense to trade AD right now. See how this year goes and then go from there. Now, coming up, Lakers free agency latest. They worked out some players. We'll get you caught up on all of that here in just a few moments, so stay tuned for that. But here's Dave McMenamin on some of these workouts. The Lakers held a free agent workout on Tuesday, sources told ESPN. Participants include Langston Galloway, Kyle Guy, Elise Johnson, Lewis King, DJ Wilson, some real studs there. But he makes a good point. Lakers could have as many as 7 open roster spots to fill this summer on his 15-man roster. And that's the reality, right? We saw this a year ago. When you have 3 max players, LeBron, Westbrook, and AD, and Ham has talked high about Russ and AD, so it sounds like they're going to be here, and you're not trading LeBron. That means you have to get a bunch of veteran minimum contract guys to fill out the roster. Some guys who are aging that are still good players will be willing to take less. Maybe you can get Carmelo Anthony back, who's been solid here. But that's reality. I mean, that's just the situation when you have 3 max guys. You're up against the cap. You got to get guys on veteran minimum contracts. A Kyle Guy intrigues me because he's young enough still. Langston Galloway's had some good moments in the past, but that list of players, those aren't going to be contributors, I don't believe, moving forward. Free agent targets. Trevor Lane of Laker Nation and Mike White as well mentioned some few players that the Lakers could target this offseason. Again, they're going to have to go bargain bin hunting a little bit, so we'll take a look at who some of those guys are. But first, let's talk about our sponsor on today's show. That, of course, is Aura. All-in-one digital safety provider. What does that mean, Harrison? Basically, they're going to help you prevent getting hacked, whether it's financial fraud. A lot of people trying to attack your credit cards, your debit, your online inquiries, and they're going to give you updates. Aura will, if there's any suspicious credit inquiries online, they'll keep you up to date. And identity theft, major problem. I think something like 40 million people had to deal with ID theft last year. That's a crazy statistic, but the reality is we do everything online. It's easy to find accessible information for these hackers. Aura is going to protect you from all this stuff. Overall device security, online stuff as well. What does that entail? Social media accounts. Your passwords are going to be protected. Facebook. I mean, I swear every couple of months I log into Facebook and I have a DM from my grandmother and I'm like, well, she got hacked again, because that's what happens because they attack people who, aren't the most technologically sound. And those type of people, maybe some folks in your family need Aura more than others. My parents aren't the most tech savvy people. Aura, they need to get going with it because they're going to do the work for you. It's free, 14-day free trial. And then you pay a small fee monthly after that if you like what you see. And quite frankly, it's worth it in the end, because if you get hacked, it's going to end up costing you more money down the road. Aura.com/chatsports. Get a free trial today. Family plans up to 5 people. All right, let's take a look at some of these free agent targets that Laker Nation mentioned. Thomas Bryant, who is actually a pretty solid player. Now, he was injured a lot of last year, coming off that torn ACL, played in just 27 games, I should say, for Washington. But at the end of the day, he's a guy who's kind of got some double-double upside. Had 11 points per game a year ago for the Washington Wizards. He can rebound pretty well. He knows who he is. He's not going to take stupid shots. 60% from the floor indicates that. He's a guy who could start. He could come off the bench. He can do a little bit of everything for you, and I think the Lakers could add a guy like this to their front court. How about Jalen Smith, who has done some okay things since entering the NBA. He has missed a lot of time, though, and has missed some games. You look at his career so far. 56 games with the Suns. Didn't get a lot of playing time. Why? Well, they were playing for a championship that season, so we didn't get to see him much. Last year with Indiana, played better, 37% from 3. I like that. 24 minutes as Rick Carlisle played a lot of their young guys and played well. 13 points, 7.5 rebounds, took more threes, made more threes. So you saw the growth from Jalen Smith. Maybe he could be an option. And then I think the one that intrigues me the most, Mo Bamba, who before last season was widely considered a bust. He was kind of lost in that front court in Orlando with Vucevic, Jonathan Isaac, all these other guys. And then, Isaac gets hurt. They trade Vuce. And this year, Magic kind of tanked, and he got to play a lot, and he almost averaged a double-double. Over 10 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, good rim protector. He kind of developed a three-point shot as well. 38% from 3 when you look at his shooting splits from a year ago. I like that quite a bit. A big that can space the floor and play on both ends, natural jump shot, who's, I think, a guy that still has some untapped potential as, again, his first few years in the league, he was kind of buried on that roster, but now took advantage of getting playing time in perfect time because he's entering restricted free agency this summer. I think this would be a fun fit because you could play some 80 at the 4 with Bamba starting at the 5, or you could bring Bamba off the bench, kind of stagger their minutes a little bit. I think that could be interesting. I do wonder what Bamba's market will look like. Restricted free agent. Team might pay a little bit more money to try and pry him from Orlando. Going to be tough for a team like the Lakers to do that, but it would be a fun fit. So pick a player out of these 3. If you could get any of them, who would you take? Type TB for Thomas Bryant, JS for Jalen Smith, MB for Mo Bamba. I'd probably rank it Bamba, Smith, and then Bryant, but I think all three of these guys could actually be decent contributors for this basketball team. Now, Laker Nation, subscribe to the channel. Join the family here at the Lakers Report. If you love the purple and gold, like we said earlier, this is your one-stop shop for more videos. The latest news, rumors, trade buzz. I think we're going to do an Anthony Davis trade ideas video coming up since there's some buzz around that. So we'll see what we can cook up there. Link is flashing below, youtube.com/LakersTV. We'll have you guys covered for all of that here on the Lakers Report moving forward. All right, final story, and I'll be honest, we're forcing this a little bit, but the timing does add up. Could the Lakers hire Derek Fisher, who, of course, has been the WNBA coach for the Sparks, just got fired? That's not a good sign if you're getting fired by the LA Sparks there. But, look, an all-time Laker in terms of, not in terms of, stardom, but just a glue guy, right? He's been a head coach in the NBA before, and Darvin Ham is looking for some veteran assistants to fill out his staff. Now, he did not do great in the WNBA. Started out okay, and then it kind of fell off. But can you really measure Fisher's ability as a coach based on what he did in the WNBA? If you're bringing him in as an assistant, he could connect to guys like LeBron, who's a big Kobe fan and played with Kobe for a long time, obviously, in Derek Fisher. I'm not super interested in this idea, but at the end of the day, he is a Laker. I think if any team would give him a chance to be a coach right now, it would be LA, and possibly this could happen. I don't expect it, but hey, that's why we do the show for you guys to decide. So what do you think? Should the Lakers hire D. Fish as an assistant? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Get your votes in, and we'll see you next time here on the Lakers Report.